Hello, hello. Happy Thursday, November the 4th. It's me. We're back at it again. It's your boy Dre here on the Dre Sanchez YouTube channel. We are going to be falling right in line with everyone else that's flying this bird, along with all the new aircraft that are out, just like the A340-600. So, Mall Gaming 101, what's good, my man? How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining the stream. Thanks to everyone who's joining the stream or will join the stream. Welcome aboard. To get it started, I would say please smash that subscribe button with the bell and give me a like if you can. Share it out so we can grow the channel and keep giving you guys more hits that you like, and we'll do it that way. So I've had this aircraft for quite some time, then obviously they redid it and it looks much better. It's, you know, almost, in my opinion, as far as the simulation goes, as detailed as the one in FSX and P3D, the Majestic. So there's some pluses and minuses, but obviously terrain radar, weather radar aren't as intuitive as they are on FSX and P3D. But this great aircraft has come a long way. Mall Gaming says about to get a flight started from Denver to O'Hare. Mall Gaming 101, man, what you flying? Let me know. Anyway, here we go, guys. We are currently in Edmonton, Canada. Yes, that's right. Canada. That's Canada, in case you guys wanted to start spelling it and then just pronounce it. That's how you do it. So we're in the Canada, which I've actually been to Canada before as a kid. And so a little return from a long time ago. We won't say how many years ago it was, because I'm not trying to date myself here. Anyway, as you guys can see here, we are flying for Westjet, obviously via the Westjet livery you see here, and we are most certainly going to be headed up to Fort. Don't give me the line here. Let me tell you where we're heading before I mess this up. So the IKO is Charlie Yanko Mike where we're going to, and it is Fort Mcmurray, guys. Fort Mcmurray here in this Dash 8. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing on and popping. Mall Gaming 101 says he's flying a 737. I usually don't fly it, but he's flying it today. Well, I hope you have a great flight, Mall Gaming 101. Let me know how it goes. Go from there. Now, I've seen quite a bit of people stream this. Obviously, I watched Blue Games, who I was able to meet at the FlyJSim Expo. He was streaming it earlier, so I jumped on his stream earlier, kind of while I was working and doing some things around the house. And it was funny, I had already planned to do this, so there you go. So guys, let's go ahead and get on board of this wonderful aircraft and get everything good to go here. First things first, let's take a little look around the cockpit to make sure everything is where we need it. These are to the disconnected position. The flight controls gate is up, and our condition levers are in the off position. Flaps are up. Cockpit is cold and dark. So if that's the issue, we need to come over here to our situation, and we need to connect the GPU. You can see airplane also on the inside is nice and empty, and we're going to change that though, guys. So let's go up top now, and this is a pretty easy aircraft to get going. We'll talk about what some of the issues in it may be that I have found so far. And let's get the external power on. Do you have the ATR-72? Marcus G asks. I don't, Marcus, but I definitely plan to get it. I like the ATR-72. Now you guys can see here, we do have our ground power on, and there's another place that we can check if the external power is on and correct. But first, we need to bring the aircraft to life, guys. So what you're going to see is, I know there's plenty of people streaming it, but if you're on my channel and you haven't seen it, I'm going to explain it anyway. So we got all of our batteries on. We got the external power activated, obviously, using the EFB. And then now, we can also do this AC control if we wanted to, but I'm just not even going to turn it on. So it's no big deal. I mean, we'll turn it on. We just got to remember to turn it off. Okay, our bleeds are off, but we can get some recirculation going on once we get the APU on, which we're not going to run right now. But everything else here is looking good. So without that being said, let's go ahead and arm our non-smoking. We'll keep the fasten seat belts on. Let's get the emergency lights on. and get our position light on, of course. And everything else for now up top does look good. Now what we're going to do is, even though the aircraft is on the ground power, obviously you still see the systems are off. So we've got these two, your PFD and your MFD, so your primary flight display, your multifunction display, multifunction display, multifunction display, and primary display. So I'm going to show you how to get these two and these two up. All you got to do is, and all we're doing is a look down to the center, guys. You know I have my view set up, so we're just looking down here. So what you're going to do is, for the left PFD and the MFD, you're just simply going to turn that bad boy up. Turn that bad boy up. Same thing for the first officer side, or your side if you're willing to accept the risk, I should say. Then we're going to come back up. We're going to notice there's a tango in all of them, so they're coming alive, guys. Now, also too, your FMCs are off. So you need to come here and just do one click to on. One click to on, and you're going to see them come to life. So they're going to start doing their tests. Now this middle screen, you may say, hey man, that screen is, nothing's happening. Well, that's because for that one, it's down here. So let's come down to our view, and of course, I'm just using my scroll wheel, and it's gonna be nice and bright. So now we also have this one coming up, and now remember I told you guys that we are going to be able to see if we have external power. You can see right here, DC external power on, and there should be nothing else on but the batteries. The DC bus is fully loaded right there, is what you can see. So we are good to go there. And boom, boom, boom. Okay, now we're still not done, guys. We still have to come down to our radio stack and get that turned on. So let's again come down to that view. You're going to do one click to the right for on. The test is in progress. The test happens very quickly. You can see those fails all extinguish themselves, and then bada bing, bada boom. Now, unless I'm doing something wrong, which I doubt it, because I've been flying this aircraft for years. Obviously, other simulators. A couple of times in X-Plane 11, but it wasn't fully simulated, so it turned me off. But now, it's swinging back the other way. So, you see here, your radios down here have off on both FMS. Well, when it's fully simulated, you can actually put it in the FMS and control it that way. But this one is not set up to do that, so we're just going to click both of these into both. Which means if I switch it over here or over here, it'll switch both sides. And then there's an additional caveat to that. You see this up here is our VHF1 or our comms 1. We can come right back up here to the center console. And we're going to make this our master for comms 1. So you'll see it populate. And then you'll see the 122.8 right there. Let me check. We did have some ATC on. Let me see if they have stayed on. And it looks like they are still on. So we are most certainly going to get our aircraft loaded up appropriately. Now, you guys know I'm always running a flight plan off a SynBrief, but I already did them for both of our flight plans if we happen to make the second flight. Let's see here. This first flight. Yep, YEG, 50 minutes. This is the one. Let me make sure I got all my waypoints here. And again, what I did this time is I just made the flight plan into a PDF. So we already know how many passengers that we're going to have. So if we scroll down, I've already set up our cargo and our payload. This flight, we're going to have 50 packs and a cargo load of 1,800 pounds. And then, of course, the fuel that we need on board for takeoff is 69.68 for the block fuel. So that's what we're going to do, guys. So I just wanted to kind of show you guys this, and let's keep it rolling. All right, so 69.68. So now we're in this situation here. So what we're going to do is actually tailor our load to what we need. So we're going to come over here. I'm not quite sure I'm feeling this song, so let's move it right along. All right. So here's how we do it, guys. So you can literally either click in here, left click with your mouse, it opens up the keyboard, or you can actually just move the slider, which I find more difficult. So what we're going to do, and then you'll notice these bottom weights and these percentages, everything changes. So we're just going to come up here and we're going to type in 50. To leave that field, you want to hit enter. So now you can see the weight of those 50 passengers. And we won't do the forward, main, or aft, which you could do on your own. We're going to do the total cargo right here. And we said that was 1,800 pounds. Again, noticing that these numbers are still in specifications right here. Okay, so this is still in, and that's going to change more than likely. So I'm not sure if we'll be able to keep it. Let's see, our en route time is 50 minutes. See. Oh, you got to delete it first, guys. It will not let you just override it like normal. So we got that deleted, guys. 50. And of course, this is our ramp center of gravity. Hopefully the fuel might balance that out. We need 69.68. Okay, so we're good there. So now if we check 50 passengers, okay, we got our total cargo, we got our flying time, we have our total fuel, and we are in, as far as our ramp center of gravity, we're good to go here. Now you can either click this or you can just come up here and go over, and you'll know that you did everything. Time en route, that is what it is, da da da. So this is all of our centers of gravity, and it looks like we're good to go. Max landing weight, all of these are in where they need to be. Here's the crosshairs. So we didn't exceed max zero fuel weight, we didn't exceed max landing weight, and we didn't exceed max takeoff weight. So we're good there, guys. See 50 packs, total cargo, boom, confirm load. Bada bing, bada boom, and we're going to do what's called fast load. Now, once you hit fast load, you're going to see the passengers blue and pink representing, you know, and here's our different seats, which I think is pretty cool. And all of this, and it's got all different names, so they went all out on who's in here. So I don't know who put all these names in there, but that's great. So you can see them loaded along with the bags in there and where the bags are at. And again, 50 packs. Our takeoff center of gravity, or takeoff cargo weight, I should say, 1,800 pounds, zero fuel weight, so on and so forth. Takeoff fuel weight is 6,968 pounds, so all that matches up. So the aircraft is appropriately loaded with our specs, and we're all in the green. So now let's come back down here and get going here. So Leo Sticks, what it do, my dog? Man, I have been studying this aircraft hard for the last few days. Just got a negative 113. That's a huge come up from negative 490 LOA. Leo Sticks, man, first of all, welcome to the stream. Thanks for the support. Everybody that's watching and now will watch it. Leo Sticks 86 is a content creator. He is, man, when I say the guy can fly and his sim setup and his sim quality is dope, it is. Check him out. He's in the chat. Leo Sticks 86. Give the man a sub. Smash that notification button. Give him all the likes on this video and share it out, man. Because if you enjoy this stream and other streams that I kind of follow, you guys will enjoy his, no doubt. Okay, so all right, so I'm gonna try to do you proud today, Leo. I've been flying this for a few years, so in different sims obviously, but we're gonna give it a go, man. So now, guys, we are actually, let's check the winds before we do anything here. That way we can kind of expect, like I said, flight, the air traffic control is on. And just to let you know, I've never really flown in Canada, so transitions are the same. They still use inches here. They don't use Q and H or nothing like that. So it's similar, but I'm sure there's some changes. So the winds are out of the north basically at 20 knots. So what I'm going to do right now, so that we can make sure our pre-flight is dope. So winds are at out of the north, so I'm assuming we're going to take runway 02, and you guys can definitely understand why I'm saying that once I show you where we're at on the field. All right, so again, Winds are at 20 degrees as far as the azimuth, and 4 knots, so out of the north, basically. Not exactly strizzate, but close enough. Leo Stick says, big ups, my guy, no doubt. Okay, guys, so now let me share with you, and this one doesn't have, well, I can do the EFB here, which I'll do later on in the flight, but for now, let me just pull this in. So here we are. We are at stand 49 Delta, which is where the real aircraft flies out of. And here is runway 2. So we are going to anticipate runway 2, and if it changes, we'll make the changes accordingly. So with that being said, let's get our flight plan going in here. So we're going to accept. So we're actually going to put the flight plan in first. So you want to accept on both, and then after that, you can leave this as is until we get going. Now this FMC is definitely a little different than what you're used to. You can see we already have our situation. Actually, I'm going to call for the clearance first, simply because there is an Edmonton 1 departure, which our route doesn't have a departure. It has a standard terminal arrival. So we go direct to Eblar fix on our departure. So let's call for our clearance and see what we get. Then we can turn the music back on. So we just gonna pause this one right here, guys, and let's definitely check in with center 3325. So this is where, again, we're gonna see this thing work. So we're gonna go 3325, and we're gonna make that switch. And let me double check that. Oh, you know what? I'm glad I double checked the frequency. It's actually 3525. See there? 3525 decimal 25. That is 35 decimal 25. Bada bing, bada boom. There we go. All right, guys, and we are Westjet 318, and we are going to Fort McMurray. Center Westjet 318, looking for IFR to Fort McMurray.
Westjet 318, I have radio. Good evening. Airport clear to the Fort McMurray Airport by the Gabet 1 departure. Flight plan route to depart runway 02, squawk 0361.
All right, so it's a good thing that I didn't put it in. See, he's giving us a departure. Okay, we are here to Fort McMurray Gabet departure. And I'm not sure if we still have the same fix, but I'll have you repeat that back to me. And we're expecting runway 02, and we'll be squawking 0361, and departure will be with you for Westjet 318.
Westjet 318, readback is correct. I didn't follow what your concern was. If you can repeat that, please.
Oh, I was just making sure you didn't change my next fix after the Gabet 1 departure.
Westjet 318 negative. Your first fix is Eblar Echo Bravo Lima Alpha Romeo.
I really appreciate it, sir, and we will definitely call you for taxi after we get everything ready and have the weather. Appreciate you.
Okay, and Westjet 318, your readback is correct, and I'll hear from you when you're ready for taxi. I currently have winds calm altimeter 2943.
Okay, altimeter 2943, winds calm, and we'll call you for taxi, sir, for Westjet 318. Alright, guys, so that is quite the altimeter, 2943. Man, when I see it go that low, I'm like, what? Okay, so let's put that in right now, guys. So again, that's the reason why that I decided not to put the flight plan in, just for that simple reason. Now let me show you guys how we put in our squawk codes. The first thing you do is just going to click it, and our squawk code is 0361. Might help if we're on it. Okay, what happened was we waited too long, and so the guy sounds pretty cool. Hopefully he stays on the whole time. Bada bing, bada boom, 0361, and it's in the standby mode. So when we take it and put it on altitude, we'll just hold this down, and that will take care of that, man. All right, guys. So as promised, let us come in here and get our av tab. That's what I like about this, even though, and then you guys know I'll just keep it down here for you guys. while it's important. So we are at Edmonton, and if we want to double check our, seeing this is a little bit outdated variable, 2 knots, 29043. Now this might be what's up, but see the winds, or no, this is today 0040 Zulu, and yeah, so that's an hour behind. So because the other one is 0140 Zulu, so this is an hour behind, guys. Anyway, we're not worried about that. We got the weather, and we got my man helping us out. So let's go to our departure right off the bat, Gabet 1, and let's look and see what type of madness. Eblar is going to be our first fix. And so there we go. So we're going to go, this is a really easy departure. It's pretty much follow runway heading. As you can see, runway heading looks like it's 20 degrees, which is the runway, so no doubt we got this all day long, guys. So let's slide that right down there, and then when we don't need it, we'll get rid of it completely. Let's see what we got here. Leo Sticks, that was a dope stream the other night into Haiti. You and Gio gave me some good entertainment while I was at work. Hey, thank you so much, Leo Sticks 86. Greenlight says, what's good, bro, in chat. Greenlight, my man, what is up? I'm missing you right now, Greenlight flying, but I'm glad you're in the chat. And it's nothing but love, guys. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this thing programmed, and let me explain to you how this is going to go, because it's going to go very, very peculiar how this thing. So right now, this is basically your flight plan page, but in order to get your departures and arrivals, you got to hit this menu. We got to hit depart. Now, you don't hit the line select key here. It won't do anything next to it. You have to go on the according number. So we're going to select runway 2, which we just established. Rock City Strong, what's up? Leo Sticks, Greenlight, Auto Brokers, big up. What is going on, Rock City, man? Thanks for joining the stream. Now, the only SID for runway runway 02 is 1, the Gabet. So bada bing, bada boom, and yes, Rock City, big up to you, man. Sure. There is no transition, so you can just hit enter, and now it's in the flight plan, folks. See this? Bada bing, bada boom. Now, it says vectors after this, but we're going to eventually go to our next fix. But I'm going to leave this vectors in here just to make sure how it looks first. And if it's lined up with our first waypoint, then we'll keep it as such. All right, so 5 vectors. So we're going to leave that in there for right now, guys. And now let's go ahead and get our situation on and cracking. Let me check the stream here. Okay, you guys are doing good. So let's get going. So Eblar. So in order to, you don't just start typing in the scratch pad and see it won't do anything. You have to actually select this line. It'll drop in that 6, and then you're gonna go put in your fix. When there's a VOR, there's no VORs on this particular flight. But if there, now once you hit it, don't hit this again. You're gonna hit enter. Now this is gonna give you the actual Latin lawn for your waypoint. Now you can hit it over here, accept it, bada bing, bada boom, it's in there. Now we're going to Cavda, that's Kilo Alpha Victor Delta Alpha. Gonna enter that, same thing, Latin longs, looks good. Or you can hit enter here too, and it'll go in there as well. So there's more than one way to skin this chicken. Now our arrival is on the Lexon 4. I don't think we need to put Lex on there, so you could disappear that. Let's check the weather in Fort Mcmurray. So let me do that really quick, man. You guys like that impromptu accent? Really quick, man. All right. CYMM or Charlie Yankee Mike. Because we want to go ahead and assume or figure out what runway we're going to. So the winds are out of the east at 70 knots. And it's the only thing about doing pre-flight, man, you got to make sure and try to calculate everything. Okay, so we said out of the east. Well, this is a no-brainer, guys. Right here. Eastern landing, right here, 08. 10 degrees off, man. Hopefully it stays that way, because we sure can't ask for any better than that. And while you're in here, you want to check the landing elevation. It's 1205. While we're doing that, let's come up top, because you do have to put your landing elevation in right here. So it's 1,000 feet. It's 1,205 feet. starts here at 0. So if you could only assume this is 2 and this would be 3, so this here would be 1. So let's drag that over. There's 1, and we said it's about 1200. Right there, it's on auto. Bada bing, bada boom. So I know you guys like the bada bing, bada boom, so I'm gonna keep it rolling. Maybe if you didn't like it, that's just something I say, man. You guys know I keep it funny. Alright guys, check you guys out in the chat. Captain Geo, what is up, man? I don't know how to say what's up in Haitian Creole, if that's what it was, your language, Geo, but I'm just gonna say que onda, man. In my language, that means what's up. Alright, okay. So there you go. Alright guys, so now we know what runway we are landing on. So here we go back into the FMC. Remember, we got to hit menu. We did depart last time. We're going to do arrive. We know, let's see, arrive. Oh, you know what? I tell you what, you got to go back to the flight plan. I made a mockery out of myself. So this is the last point. So this is much like using your GNS 430 or whatever. You got to put the departure airport and the arrival airport in first before you can obviously get the
is Charlie, expect runway 29.
Departure and arrival stuff. Now we're there. CYMM. Now we can go back to the menu, and now we can go to arrive. There's our runway 1. Perfect. Enter. Stars the Lexon 4. Enter. And select transition none. Now approach. As you can see, there's only one approach. So we will be doing number 1, the RNAV 8. And we're going to go for Napov. Because if you do the other one, that's north of where we need to be. Napov will be the southern transition into the arrival. And let's check a few things. Alright. So let's go previous. Okay, so we'll still worry about this vectors. Let's see. Gabit. Course vectors 20. And you can see the Eblar is at 110. So we're going to leave those vectors in there for a reason, guys. And of course, Cavda, we want this to disappear so that we can have a flight plan with no discontinuities in there. And then of course, after Lexon, let's see here. What's popping here? Okay, so this, yeah, okay, so you got to watch out. This will give you the same fix twice. This is the Lexon that we want. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to delete 9. And we're going to go previous, and we're going to delete the Lexon at 8. Because we don't need any redundancies up in here. Delete. Now you can just simply click that. And what you guys got is a nice, significant flight plan. That says no link. But that's because this is the go around. Let's see. Napov. Let me see here. Previous. Eblar, Lexon, Nanlu, Napov, vectors. No link. So again, we're flying with air traffic control, so we can't assume that we've already been cleared. So we're going to have to leave that as vectors for now. And we'll look at that en route. See, so we're going to be heading 316. Let me just look at that. What it says for the Lexon 4. So now let's go and search another airport, which is CYMM, of course. Bada bing, bada boom. And let's go and look at our arrival, which there's only one. Alright, so you can see here's Napov. Now, Napov, what it does is afterward, it has you turn to a heading of 255, which gets you downwind for the runway. So then once this basically sets you up to be what they call right downwind. So we're right downwind, we'll do right base, right final, bada bing, bada boom. So we are definitely going to adhere to that. Now let's also come over to Gabit. Before we get rid of that discontinuity, it says via Gabit, for vectors to assign route, maintain 6,000 or flight planned altitude, whichever is lower. Ours in this case is 6,000. So we can most certainly put this in, and don't worry, we're not done up here. So there's 6,000, guys. Now, let's finish up this flight plan because we're not done, because the perf in here works a little bit different. All right, guys, so now the flight plan is pretty much done, for now, anyway. There's the runway 8, and this, of course, goes into your missed approach stuff here, da-da-da. So, no link. Let's get that out of there, too, just in case I do want to return back to the field or do something. I can find it easily. Now, just as a reminder, sometimes if you mess with the flight plan, it'll come up here and it will say unlinked. Okay, it'll say unlinked. All that means is you need to come in here to the direct to and put in your very first waypoint. This one doesn't say that because it is linked. This is in magenta, and that's the original what we need to do upon departure. So that's what we're going to do. So there's more to show you this when we have a VOR, and if we get to the next location to have them, we'll show you what else we need to do, how to find VORs and put in airways and things of that nature. Now, what we need to look at here is to make sure our altitudes are in the system here, and there really is above 2,900 feet right here, which is no problem. And then there's no other restrictions on here other than our altitude. Leo Stick says, I was just on the phone him, and he's at work. Leo Sticks 86 says, okay, now this is done. Now keep in mind, anything that we're doing over here is not happening over here at all. So watch this. If you go to flight plan, there's nothing. You know, same thing with the fuel page, which is basically your perf. There's nothing. So we know we have 50 packs in, so you got to highlight the field, line select key number 2 here on the left, boom, boom. You can hit enter. It'll take you out of that field. Then it gives you that. Don't mess with that. That is what it is. Cargo we know to be, and where we're getting this information is it comes back here once you do your plane load, that this is everything we need here. Packs 50, 1800, these are the main 2 things that we need, and you need to know your fuel, 69, 68. Cargo we said is 1,800 pounds. Now the fuel on board, 69, 68. Let's confirm that once again before I mess that up, 69, 68. Bada bing, bada boom. Now the rest of this, you go into your flight plan. So we're going to access the Edmonton flight plan that I showed you guys, and I'm going to tell you what the rest of these numbers are. Okay, our alternate fuel, which our alternate is Charlie Yankee Oscar Delta, we need 1844. So again, alternate, you're just going to highlight. Make sure you don't click this because that'll mess with things. So the alternate fuel is 1844. The hold fuel, which will be your final reserve, is 1391. And extra fuel, did I put extra fuel? Extra, I put 800 pounds extra in here. There you guys go. Total fuel reserves, looks good to me. Now, as far as the FMC is concerned, I want to show you something. This would be tuned, so this would be where you would configure. Remote tune, not configure. So I'm assuming it's not in the sim because I don't know else how to configure it. If anybody else knows, if I'm doing something wrong, let me know. Otherwise, it's not configured. So that's no worries there. So anyway, as you can see, the fuel is loaded here. Flight plan is loaded here, but it's not loaded over here. See that? So what we need to do, we can come over to menu, and now we can do cross fuel. So we're in the fuel page. See, it says fuel options, so we want to cross fuel the fuel. So you're going to hit that. Now you're going to hit from FMS1. That's what it is. Bada bing, bada boom. Now you have your fuel all taken care of here. Now it's, if you look at both sides, they're redundant. Perfect. Now go to flight plan. That's not done. No worries there. Same thing, menu, exfil or crossfill, flight plan. Boom. From FMS1. Bada bing. Bada boom. Now, you see this? If you want this to be caught up with this one, we have to most certainly, let me see something here. Something's looking kind of funny. Vectors, Ebler. Oh, I do not. Now, look at that, guys. We cross-filled it, but there is no, let's see, Lexon. So it cross-filled it kind of funky. See that? It takes it from Ebler, then Cogva. So let's come to this side now. Go to the menu. Go to Depart. See runway 2, Gabit 1, flight plan. Now that's in there. You guys see that? So it's doing some strange stuff here. So now let's go back to our, let's see, Napov, Nanlu. Nanlu at 9. Okay, cool. Nanlu, Mepti, Napov. See, there's 2 Napovs right here. So let's come and look at this guy here and make sure what we're looking at vectors, the Napov. Okay, so we can get rid of this one here because the vectors, as you see here, come before Napov. So there's vectors, Napov, Buxen. There's another Buxen. I still think it's missing the arrival. See, it is. We're missing Pet B. So now let's come back in here again. Let's go to the arrival. And it's already in there. Flight plan. Now that should be in there. So let's check that. Lexon Nanlu. Nanlu's at 9. Nanlu's at 9. Mepti. Let's see. Mepti. Why does this one have Napov vectors? Napov. Let's see. Oh, because this is Napov vectors. So we actually need to get rid of this one here. Let's see something here. Yeah, so Napov, because then our next one is going to be Buxton, so there will be no need for us to come back here. So Napov, then vectors. See, Napov, then vectors, so we don't need this one. So let's delete that. Then that's what we need. Bada bing, bada boom. So Napov, then vectors. So let's try to do something here. Let's go with menu again, and let's go flight plan crossfill from FS1. Okay, now we know what we got to do. We got to come in here, depart. It's already going to be there. Boom. Flight plan. Let's also do that for the arrival. Boom. Flight plan. Okay. So vectors, Eblar, Kevda. Lexon, Nanlu, that looks good. Mepti, Napov, vectors, Buxen, perfect. Runway 8. And then it's got this down here again. I don't know why that would be there. Let's double check that. And I'll check you guys out here in the chat again. Unless that's, yep, Buxen, Pet B, bada bing, bada boom. Okay, there you go. And Pet B is at 28. Okay, we're doing good. So as you can see, it is not that seamless, so you have to do a lot of double checking here, especially I'm assuming because the aircraft is new. So there we guys go. And we're getting ready to get out of here, man. Let's see, Captain Geo Greenwich is still on Greenwich. You better answer. He's going to get you, Geo. He's going to get you. Alright, so we are all good on the FMC. Now we can see our initial heading is going to be 20, direct off to, which is straight out. So in my opinion, we're good to go. Now, if you look at our FMSs in here, they are on ILS on the both of them. So let's get that fixed up, guys. So you have to come here to your nav source, come over to this says FMS1, and we're going to do the same thing over here. Alright, now this will be in yellow because FMS1 is the one in charge. FMS1, bada bing, bada boom. Now that we have that, we can hit our nav button on there. And we're also going to set our climb up to 6,000. So what we're going to do, this is like your other GA aircraft, you have to alt select. And we're going to go vertical speed. I'm going to do a vertical speed about 2,000 feet per minute on the initial takeoff. So there we go. LNAV vertical speed is all set up. We don't do VNAV in this aircraft on the climb at all. And then If we want to do an IAS climb, we can do that as well, but we'll get up in the air and then you just basically hit this IAS button whatever speed you're at and you'll climb at that speed. So there you go. Now let's get over here to the nitty gritty. So these we can leave here. This is more or less for landing. If we land at a different flaps, we'll do that so we don't get the wrong call outs for our terrain. And guys, we're ready to go ahead and get out of here. We need to go ahead now and turn our weather to standby, even though it is an op, but we're going to do it for simulation purposes anyway. And yeah, guys, I think we are basically ready for start and taxi. So let's come in here. Now, before we do anything else, guys, before we get out of here, so our pre-flight is the most important. Let us look down here. We're going to scroll in, and we are going to put our aircraft. You just hit data once. Oh, I'm sorry, format. Hit formats once. Once you hit format, it goes into the flight plan. Flight plan, there you go. And we might want to have it on 20, at least 20 miles to see that, so that we can figure out what we're doing. So there's our takeoff. This is our departure. Lexon. That's the vector. Don't worry about that. We're going to be vectoring ourselves. And then there's the route right there. Let's go back to previous because it looked like we skipped a bunch. So boxing. Okay, let's go back to previous again. And this is the vector coming off of the 255. You can see it's heading west. So that makes sense. Let's go to previous there. And we may have to increase our range so that we can see more of the flight plan. There you go. There's Lexon Nanlu. And then you could see this would be basically, what is it? Not Nanlu, but it's the Napov. So there's Nanlu. MEP-T's up there. Now we're going to have to, I want to increase it again. And that's the only thing. You got to mess with your views if you want to see the whole flight plan. So there's Cavda, Lexon, Nanlu. And there's MEP-T. And here is the Nopu. And then there's our vector. And then there's Buxom. So the flight plan looks good. As funny as it looks. So now you can just hit format. It'll take it back there. And now we can reduce our situation. Let's go ahead and get our APU on, guys. It's time to get up out of here. Up top we go. Now to start the APU. Oh, one other thing you want to do is you want to double check those fuel stores did go on here. So there's 6,000. So that's roughly it. Yep. We have 69, 68 in here. So that's what it is right there. Just rounded it up. So now that that's done and the plane is loaded, before we do anything, oh, we can, yeah, let's go ahead and start the APU. Then we'll get the door closed. So power, let it do its cycle. Start. Now you'll also be able to notice things over here on the APU, the generator load. We can come down here. It should be taking fuel from there. Let's see if we can monitor it on the engine systems. I don't think it does come up. Let's see. ITT. So the APU, basically, you're not going to see anything until it says available up top. There goes all fuel transfer. Okay, let's go back to the electrical systems. Now let's go ahead and go up top. Okay, we're going to put that generator on now. Even though it still says warm, we push it in. Don't let that fool you. Now we can get the recirc fan on for the passengers, and we want to turn our external powers off now. Alright, external powers are off, so you know what time it is now. Disconnect the GPU and get that door closed. We want to verify that on doors, so come over here to all systems. Doors are all green and closed. Let's go back to all systems now. Guys, welcome aboard to Westjet flight 318 full service, actually all the way over to a different airport, but right now this leg we're going to Fort McMurray. So let's go ahead now and put our
5000, act like 425.
light on. Now we can put the fasten seatbelt sign on, and bada bing, bada boom.
You're identified.
Checklist, we're not doing too much on the checklist today, but we can go for before start. Circuit breaker, passenger sign, emergency lights, anti-skid on, fuel transfer quantity off and check, emergency brake pressure check, power levels, they are disconnected, conditions level, fuel off, takeoff data reviewed. Now there's one last thing that we have to do, guys, but I'm not going to do it until we set our flaps. We're going to set our V speeds over here. I'm going to show you how to actually do it in the real aircraft, but then I'm going to show you the cheat or the shortcut over here. So let's go over here. We got that on. Circuit breaker, passenger signs. We just did that. Emergency lights are armed. Let's double check that. Emergency lights are armed. And we are ready to go for start. Start has been approved. Battery is on. Door, fueling lights out. APU bleed off. Anti-collision red. Engine's clear for start. So let's get that APU bleed off. Let's come over here. We're going to start the right engine first. And looks like we got somebody else here up in the house. Okay, so we're starting the right engine. So let's come on over here now, and I'm going to show you guys what to do. Everything is off here, guys. So we just come up top. We've already been cleared to start the right. I'm going to give you guys a better view just to make it easier. So this one, we're starting the right engine. We're going to select it to right, and we're going to select start. All right. Now you have to grab this. Oops. We don't want to grab both. We just want the one. Now you're going to see that come up. All right. Number 2 is up. Let's look left. Starting the left engine. Normally we wouldn't start them both right now. We can taxi with one to save fuel, but the runway's right there, so there's no time to be messing around. Starting number 1. You gotta wait till this NH gets to 10, which happens pretty quick.
Quebec Air 01, good evening. Norton Center, I'm ready for departure to Prince George.
So our taxi is going to be really easy. We're going to probably take Pa over here to 2. Alright. So now that that's all taken care of, engines are on. We're going to not put the condition levers up to the minimum yet. So what we're going to do now is we're going to turn, as you can see, the generators are already on up here as well. So we're going to go ahead and turn our APU generator off and turn that off. We're going to leave the bleeds off for right now. Now I'm going to double check, which the real aircraft do. We're going to double check that there's no wine in here, because now these propellers will suck them on up. So we're going to go ahead and go into minimum. All right. You guys can hear them spooling up. All right, guys. Now let's go ahead and get our. Now we're on altitude. You just hold it. Now we are going to be taking off with flaps 5. So flaps 5 is selected. And indicating. Now that we've done that, normally under here you would actually do this selection and do your speed bugs. So for example, you would hit select and start doing them. But here's the shortcut. You just come down here and click. After you've set your flaps, there's our V1, V-rotate, V2, and flaps up and clean and all that good stuff. Just right there. All right, start's been approved, and Taxi. Let's see, altimeters we checked, flight instruments, tanks 1 and 2, auto feather, flaps, trims, takeoff warning test, condition levers. This is the only thing I have been able to find, the takeoff warning test. I haven't seen where that's at. There is a test down here, but I think this is, I'm not sure. Let's see status, and this is headphones. That's the test for that. I don't know where the takeoff warning test, so far I haven't been able to find it in here. So if somebody knows where it's at, let me know. Other than that, let's get our auto feather on. We need to get our auxiliary tanks 1 and 2 on, and we need to put our PTU on and our standby hydraulic. And there we go. Let's get the first officer side on the nav. First officer side will definitely show this. Let's do our flight controls check. Okay, full back. Actually, you know what? Stand by. I know what I was about to forget, and we're out of here, guys. Let's get the flight controls on. Flight controls are free and clear for you guys to see. Sometimes that camera freezes up, so I got to check. All right, here we go. Full up. And what you're looking at is here as well. Pull down. We got to move this. Aileron left. Aileron right. Put that back in place. Rudder right. Rudder left. All right, guys, there we go. Flight controls are checked. Now we want to put the condition levers to full. Consider Westjet 318. It's stand 49 Delta. With the weather is ready to taxi.
Westjet 318, runway 02. Altitude 2943, taxi at your discretion. Papa Alpha, sure, runway 02.
Okay, taxi at our discretion. Papa Alpha altimeter 2943 to runway 02 for Westjet 318. All right, guys, so we did everything that we needed to do. Let's go back to the checklist one more time. Taxi lights on as required. Altimeters are set. Flight instruments checked. Auxiliary pumps, auto feather are on. Flaps are set. Trims are definitely set. They're in the takeoff position, so there's no worries there. We don't know where this at. Condition levers are to max, which we did. Pitot static heat needs to come on, so that's up here, guys. Boom, boom. Standby as well. Boom, and let's get the pilot heat on. Now we need ice protectors required. We don't. Caution and warning lights are checked. Flight clearance is received. Cabin is secure. Zachy D, hey, what's going on? Thanks for joining the stream. The only thing we got here is the parking brake, guys. So now it is, we're ready to go. So now we need to swing right over here. Let's look at that taxi again, guys. So we'll come right here, Papa, and pick up Alpha to the right. So that's too easy. Alright, guys, so let's get those taxi lights on. Taxi lights are on. Let's go out and do the official check. Alright, there we go, guys. Check the chat one more time, and we're out of here. Oh, last thing, too, is, guys, you have to turn on your nose wheel steering. Nose wheel steering is on. Thought I had found the takeoff test. Stall warning. Okay, here we go. Alright, guys, so we're going to definitely want to go to the left first, so let's get our left rudder in there. And parking brake is released. Let's roll. Welcome aboard once again, guys. Westjet flight 318. First field is going to be into the Fort McMurray.
Quebec Express 01 with any full pushback. Quebec Express 01, push start to your discretion, call for taxi. Quebec 01.
So hopefully we have a smooth flight. Like I said, different sims. I've been flying this thing quite a bit.
5, descent 6,500, you're clear at the ILS runway 29, approach tempo transition. Call me established. 6,500. We'll call established runway 2 and 9 are actually 425.
And one thing you do in this aircraft before you take off, which is also unlike other aircraft, you do want to get that yaw damper on as well.
Air Canada 420, can I get cleared to expect runway 30 when able to approach your planning. Expect runway 30
There will be one last thing I got to show you guys. A key that you need to bind to lift the throttles over the gate. Alright guys, now that we're coming here, we definitely need to get those throttle locks off. Otherwise, we will not be rotating. And center, Westjet 318 is on Alpha holding short runway 02, ready for departure. Okay, any station that's net radio check over. Alright, let's hold off on that. We lost a little bit of functionality to VATSIM.
Westjet 318, I'm the radio.
Okay, I can read you now, sir. Let me do a radio check. Radio check here for Westjet 318.
Westjet 318, I've got you 5x5. Call me airport with your call. Takeoff Edmonton, runway 02.
Okay, so we'll call you airborne using departure and runway 02 clear for takeoff, Westjet 318. Thanks a lot, sir. Alright, guys.
Air Canada 420 is
So, let's do this.
Air Canada 420, that's the arrival and approach your planning. Runway 30 has 200 amps and ILS.
Now, one thing I'm actually going to do here, guys, I'm just thinking about it. Let's do just direct to, let me see something here. Let's see, heading 20, direct, 2,900 feet. Just want to make sure this is going to go there. So let's look up and make sure we're not doing too bad. Okay. Because I think what I'm going to do is just do direct to OV2, to be honest with you. Because this aircraft is very funny about how it decides to do things. Go back to flight plan. And it's still kind of giving us that, so that's fine. Alright guys, here we go. Let's get on that. And let's get our landing lights on. Alright. And our strobes. Alright guys, everything is looking good. Now don't worry about overspeeding on this taxiway. Your throttles at this point are actually stuck behind a gate.
We'll restart my sim for. We'll come back in about 30 seconds. My door won't close. Oh no, okay, I'm okay. Sorry.
Poor guys having problems with a sim. I know how that is. Alright, we're going to line up nice and easy. I'm just taking her nice and easy because like I said, this aircraft still can be a little funny. Alright guys, we're lined up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to hold the brakes. We're going to bring this up. And what you got to do is hold this gate. Parking brakes are released. Airspeed is alive. Takeoff power is set. 80 knots cross check. V1 and rotate. Actually, we missed V1 a long time ago. Those triangles always
radio
confuse me.
jet 1742, I departed Calgary.
Positive rate. You're up. Alright, we're just going to kind of fly it. Alright, flaps are coming up. And we're going to go into climb power.
Clear to Calgary by the James Brown 1 departure.
Hand flyer for a second here.
0240, jet 1742.
Just hand flying or having a good time.
1742.
And center, this is Westjet 318 reporting at 3,800, climbing via SIM.
Westjet 318, you're identified for line flight 210.
Flight level 210. Westjet 318. Alright guys.
Radio ACLET 425 is established.
Autopilot is on. And we got flight level 210 coming up.
7015, gusting 44, clear to land, Calgary runway 29. Clear to land 29, air ACLET 425.
Alright guys, so we got a pretty smooth takeoff.
318, direct Ebler on.
Direct Ebler on course, Westjet 318, thank you sir. So we're going to do our indicated airspeed climb right here. So now we're IS at 184. We'll keep that climb going just like that, guys. And that'll give us some better climb here. Let's do the after checklist once we go direct. So now he's saying we can go direct to Ebler, which is 4. And now we're direct Ebler. You should see the aircraft banking to do just such. There's it from the first officer side. I'll check you guys out here in the chat in a minute. Very beautiful scenery here, guys, on this initial climb out of Edmonton. Alright guys, so here is Ebler. Now you can see here on this FMC it's not going direct, and that just comes because you have to do it on both sides, which is kind of annoying, but it is what it is. So we're going direct Ebler. Boom. Now that will reflect as it's supposed to be on both FMCs. So as you can see here, we're going to be making a turn. We just need to increase our range. Let's see, let's increase our range a little more. And there's the turn. We're direct. We're climbing at 184 knots. And let's get ready to do the after takeoff checklist. Leo Sticks says, sexy departure. Woo, Lord, I love this bird. Yes, sir, Leo Sticks. Keyshawn Christopher, what is going on? This is not the Majestic Dash 8 Q400, Keyshawn, but it is a Dash 8 Q400. This is X-Plane. This is FlyJSim. Guys, this is FlyJSim. All right, guys, the after takeoff checklist is coming up. Landing gear is up, flap 0, climb power set, bleed air on as required. So now we can get that on. Let's get our bleeds on. Sometimes I take off without them with them on, but in minimum. Let's make sure. I don't know what's going on with my my internet, man. It keeps disconnecting. Leo Sticks, man, I love this bird too, man. Hopefully I don't know what's going on with VATSIM, but my internet is good, so it's not that. Okay, auto feather off, tax the tank, aux pumps 1 and 2, all that stuff has to come off, guys. So we're gonna come down here. Auto feather off. Auxiliary tanks, pumps 1 and 2. Standby hydraulic pressure and PTU control all off, guys. And of course we have passed 10,000, so let's go ahead and alright, I think it's the VATSIM servers, to be honest with you. Okay, auto feathers off, engine temps and pressures, we'll check that. Ice protection is required, cabin pressure controls, passenger signs as required. Alright, cabin pressures are looking good. We do have our landing situation all situated. And man, I think it's time. You guys like that? Situated. And we're kind of in the soup, so I don't know. There we go. Not bad. Man, I just do not know why that we're, and it's not us. See, it keeps coming off and on, connected to voice servers, so we'll just have to do it that way. Let me check my internet speed real quick. The internet speed is, I'm going to show you guys. So it's not us. See, 200 Mbps right now, so we're straight on the internet speed. It's definitely got to be them. Alright guys, so we're out of there, we're climbing, we're at 14,000 feet, we're on our IAS climb. We are doing good guys, we're not climbing super fast, but that's okay. We are in the climb mode, which has the props basically at between 9 and it's kind of dancing around. They're locked in, no worries. And the only thing, as usual, that we forgot to do is start our timer. So we'll assume we're been in the air between 5 to 8 minutes. So once this gets around 42, we should be landing. Simply because flying time for this first leg was 50 minutes. Of course, we always want to come down here and square up our heading. Heading is all squared up, guys. We're going to hold off on the music for now. Man, that's annoying. The voice keeps disconnecting. But, out of our control, man. Alright. We're done with that. And then the next thing, of course, we're going to get into is our power, altimeters, cabin pressure, and lights as required. There's not going to be any lights whatsoever needed other than what we have on. And again, guys, welcome aboard to Westjet flight 318 full service from Edmonton. And our final stop, if everything works out today, we will be traveling on over to let's see here, what's the name of the next airport? Check something here. Connected. It's connecting, disconnecting, connecting, disconnecting, whatever. Hopefully we don't miss any calls here. So after Fort McMurray, our final stop today, we are going to be flying into Saskatoon John G. Diefenbaker International, and that'll be back south, of course, as this is my first time really flying in Canada. I think I flew in there once over Canada, but there was the destination wasn't Canada, so this is actually a first for me. All right, guys, you see we've made that transition altimeter. All right, and what I did in the sim, I slaved this side to the other side as far as the altimeter, so we don't have that to worry about. And we're still continuing our climb at IS 184. Now don't forget, anytime in this aircraft that you select an altitude, target altitude for descent or climb, you always want to do the altitude select, even if you're in the VNAV, because you want it to stop descending. Otherwise what's going to happen, it'll catch the VNAV, but you get to your target altitude, whether it's on a descent or a climb, it is not going to give you what you want. It's essentially going to keep you descending or climbing. And again, you don't use the VNAV. You don't use the VNAV on the climb, so that part more applies to your descent. Alright, there's Cav to our next waypoint. Even though it's not simulated, which I don't know why X-Plane has a hard time doing it, but let's get our weather on. We'll do tilt above slightly. And check you guys out in the chat.
42 ready for taxi.
And guys, we're doing good. Really no complaints on that departure, man. Really no complaints other than the spotty radio, which is, it looks like it's doing a little bit better now. Hopefully I'm not
Bravo 12, Jazz 1742.
saying something prematurely. So let's get rid of this tab. Let's get rid of this tab. And now we can stay on this one. This one is our airport. We can get rid of this tab too.
Good evening. Air Canada full 16.737-800. Requesting clearance to
So I'm just pulling up the charts that we'll need.
Good evening. Airport, departure. And then
All right. So this is the Lexon, and then now let's get our approach popped in there, main.
Project clear. Q1 over here, the Q1.
And this will be our approach.
Departing runway 12.
So EA H conditional, 14 GPA conditional. I think we're going to go for 1455. Let's look down here.
Project confirming here the amendment flight plan route.
We did reach our cruising altitude, so now what we need to do is we need to bring this back into the 850 mode. Now we are in our cruise power. Let's run through the checklist. Altimeters are to standard. Power is set to cruise. Cabin pressure has been checked. Lights as required. Next one will be descent, guys.
Takeoff 12, call airborne, 1742.
And again, I spoke too soon. You can hear it's still doing the connecting and reconnecting, which is out of our control, guys. All right, now we're continuing to pick up some speed. I'm going to check something here. What I'm trying to check on is, let's say we're going to do an ILS and we want to set up the course and everything already. If you hold the format down, there we go. So guys, this is how you change your basically nav 1 and the course setting and all that. See that? So if we needed to do an ILS, which in this case we don't need to put this in, this is how you would change your course setting. So then you just go back and hold it down. Let's see. And I can't get it that way. Let's go back up here for that one. There we go. You click it once to switch over to your plan mode, and you hold it down if you want to get to the course deviation indicator. And I said deviation, I don't know if that's the right term, but if you want to, I should say, manipulate the course indicator for an ILS or something of that nature, that's what you're going to do. So guys, we are up and cruising here now. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first officer's side. Everything is looking good. Let's check our pressures here. Hydraulic quantities are all good. Here's our pressures right here. We have nothing here. I always want to keep an eye up on this annunciator. Here in a second, I'm going to show you what not to do. I was practice flying this thing the other day and I did something, and I'm going to show you how to fix it. Yes, Leo Sticks 86 says ILS course. Thank you, sir. That's why I love having other sim pilots, content creators, and or real pilots on board, man. They're going to keep me in line, keep me honest. Now, normally, sometimes I have to adjust the power, but right now, it looks like we're doing just fine right here. We'll keep an eye on that. Let's check the winds here. We'll definitely be able to tell you. So the winds, we're getting a bit of a tailwind, so I'm surprised we're not overspeeding. The winds are pushing us right from the back at 26 knots. And you can see the difference. There's our true airspeed and our ground speed, and here's our indicated. So the cruise here should be nice and comfortable, guys. Now let me turn this ATC up in my ear. And we can potentially get some jams on now, my peeps. Again, everybody, thanks for checking in on the stream. Thanks for hanging out with me. I tell you, I just can't say enough about appreciating your guys' support and viewage. Just keep the music kind of low. Turn it up just a little. Alright guys, and we are en route. Now let's take a look at this VNav situation. And let me know how the volumes are doing, guys. Now, we're going to show you how to use VNav. So NAPOV definitely I don't think should be at any 18470, so let's check that out. I must have got rid of my little tablet there, so let's get that back. Alright.
Direct add Rockjet 1742.
See that? NAPOV needs to be above 5,000. See that? And let's change that up. So here's NAPOV. Let's see, let's just put 5,000 in first. So at 5,000, and let's take a look at our approach. And BOXM should be at, looks like 5430. This has got it, yeah, it's close enough. Which the funny thing is that NAPOV just has to be at, so we should maybe make NAPOV at least at 6, and this is just so we can get an idea about the descent. If we have air traffic control on, he's going to do everything for us. Because we can't be here lower and then expect to be here. So we'll keep that, and then of course if we want to just kind of look at our VNav, now this gives us, and we're getting a message, but from position we have about 130.7 nautical miles until we start our descent. Now let's check in here this message center. Let's see.
Canada 420 here.
All right. Message is down here. Top of descent alert. So it's actually telling us we need to be descending now. That's not true. So let me see. All right, I don't understand why it's saying that it's this vertical deviation, but anyway, we're going to leave it in there as it is. And again, I'm not quite sure why it's doing that. Let's take a look. The aircraft is doing something here that we need to monitor. All right, and we're going direct Lexon right now. And look guys, so yeah, something is definitely off. It's telling us that we need to descend right here. So, that's not accurate. So let's try something here. Let's click on that. And get rid of that. Let's try something else. I kind of just want to clear this out. Yeah, I don't know why that's going to be saying that. Let's come here. You see, that won't let you. try something here. So Leo, can I fix that? It says it's using a different target waypoint than the one you want at bottom of descent. I had this issue earlier. Were you able to fix that, Leo, or we just got to ride it out until they fix it? Let me know, brother. Either way, we'll be all right. We can still remember, guys, our rules of how we can assume to change that. So we would need to know our distance, obviously, to the point, but we can use our rule of 3. So we're at 21,000. We need to be at 6. So 21 minus 6 comes out to let's see, 20 minus 5. Boom. So you know, we got to drop about 17,000 feet times 3. So at about 60 nautical miles from getting to that waypoint is when we'll need to start our top of descent. So let's go in and take a look at that. We can go to the nav button. Might need to change the target waypoint in VTO. I think the recalc, then recalc. Got you. I'm going to try that, Leo. I fixed it by redoing it. Difference is I actually started that dummy descent but redid the VNav and it worked. Got you, Leo. Appreciate you, big dog. So we're going to try it. Like I said, guys, it's not going to be an absolute 100% simulation right away, especially because they released the aircraft not that long ago. So as you can see here, it is still in the VNav. This is the magenta situation that we want to get. So let's go in here. See, and here's from our position to Napov. So here's where the mileage is. So when this says 60, hopefully he'll be giving us a descent anyway. But let's go into VTO. Because all these are correct. And I wonder if this at has something to do with it. I don't know how else we would change that. But all of these are correct. And we got Buxton twice, so let's go double check the flight plan. Buxton at 13. So there, okay, and then here, oh, I see. Maybe this is what the problem is. It's calculating these twice. Before I do that, let's double check the missed approach. Missed approach, climb to 4,000, track 75 to Ketmo as required. So that's, I think that's the problem. It's double doing it. And no links or discos in there. Those need to be cleared also. Okay, brother. Appreciate you, Leo. So let's delete this. Let's delete this. Let's delete this. Let's delete this. There's the hold. This is end of arrival. There, now we only have the 2. So again, all we need to do is really look at this and know in about 25 nautical miles that we potentially will need to start the descent. So at least that gives us the mileage, so it's not the end of the world, guys. So we're just not even going to pay attention to this caret here. We're going to just have to do it manually, and hopefully in the future that will work differently for us. Same things with the ATC, but it always disconnects and reconnects, so they're just probably having server issues. Guys, once again, thanks for hanging out with me here tonight on this Thursday evening, and hopefully we can make you guys proud on our arrival into the fields that we're going to. First one is Fort McMurray. Let's look and see where we're going to park, guys. Fort McMurray, super easy. So it looks like the terminal area is over here. So we'll taxi, either take full runway. We might make Delta. Come Delta, join Juliet, and bring it on in here. So very simple arrival into Fort McMurray. Let's check our decision heights. Straight in landing, runway 8. But we're doing the lateral nav plus vertical nav, so decision height is 1455. So alright, I'll probably have to do a different view to get this decision height. I'm just messing with the decision height now, but I gotta be careful how I use the mouse. All right. LNAV, VNAV. It's actually 1463 is what we need, because that's the arrival. So we'll do 1463. And there we go, guys.
98, Westjet 318. When you're ready, you can descend down however
Headwind altimeter 2943, wind ready. We can go ahead and descend to 14,000, which we'll go ahead and start that descent now. So for Westjet 318.
318, landing runway 08. Great. Unable to approach your running.
Okay, thank you, sir. We'll be landing runway 08 for your advisement, and we are going to request the RNAV 08 for Westjet 318. RNAV runway 08, Westjet 318. Thank you, sir. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and start that descent now. All right, so we're going to pull the power back. Pull that power back first. Altitude select. And we're going to go into a standard descent of 1,800 feet per minute. And we got to watch our speed. Alright, so we'll keep that going. We'll monitor our speed. Alright, let's do our descent check knock. FJS needs to make an ATR next. Man, Leo, you ain't never lied, bro. Hey, Leo, let's do a Dash 8 flight together. I'm gonna put my Discord in there, either before I land or after, and let's plan a flight together, bro. In the Dash 8, and then we can get that ATR. Descent, altimeters, approach landing briefing, cabin altitude control set, ice protection. Let's go ahead and put some ice protection on. Airframe select, and we'll put it on fast for now. There's no ice detected. If there was, we would go ahead and reduce this. Picking up a little speed. He says, I'm with it, bro. I'm streaming Dash tomorrow, so yeah, no doubt. Where you going tomorrow, Leo? Maybe I'll get up on that with you, man. And at what time? I'm on the West Coast.
And radio, California Echo. Just to confirm, for how many miles the takeoff says at the 12.5? 25 miles.
All right, 2952 on the altimeter.
I have to bet 31 miles away from the gate. Roger,
all right, so we got our altimeter of the field.
Thank you.
Now what I'm going to do is get this on the heading of 255, because that is the heading that we need to take once we get off of our, to be downwind, guys. Pulling that power back slightly, and I just realized I think I left the controls on for you guys the whole time, so I hope you don't mind that. But at least they're still on. And you guys can see we're in the soup. Now, I'm not sure in this aircraft if they've already modeled the fact that this thing gets ice, like the Majestic Q8, Dash 8 Q400. All right, guys, the music is paused for the duration. Okay, we'll go ahead and continue our descent down to 4,000 Westjet 318. Direct no pal. Westjet 318. And look at this, ice is detected, guys, so we're ahead of the game. So let's get 4,000 in there. Let's bring it back because we don't want to exceed the speed limit. All right, 4,000 is in there. And direct to. Let's make sure we're direct no pop. Now we're going direct to no pop. Speed limit's looking good. Let's check our flight plan again. Just make sure we have everything that we need. Boom, Nanlu, NOPOV, vectors, boxing,
1742 request descent.
RNAV 08. So there's boxing.
8,348.
Let me look at this RNAV arrival. I thought there was more points on that. Boxing, see, Pet B, Nan B. I don't know where those guys are at. But let's see if we can add those in. So after boxing, we're doing Nabney. Very peculiar that those waypoints aren't in there. Let's see, I did get it out of continuing the flight. At least it was a major icing earlier. I did not see any visual, but boy, it was a southbound towards the ground. You had to stay ahead of the icing game with this bird in real life. No doubt, no doubt. So guys, now that there's been, the icing went away here, so I don't think there's any ice detected. But if there is, you have to increase your ref speeds. We're getting to 10,000, guys. Go ahead for Westjet 318.
318, you're clear to the RNAV. Runway 8, Mcmurray, transition going to climb.
Yes, sir, we're cleared RNAV runway 08, no POV transition, and we'll call you on final for Westjet 318. Alright guys, let's bring that power back just a little bit. We got about 16 miles to go. We can keep this descent profile because we're going to end up turning downwind, guys, remember? But what I want to do is see if I can add in those other points. So this is going to be, I'm going to try it on this one since this is not the controlling one. Let me see if this can work. Ebler, Oxen. Okay, so this is where we would want to add in Petby. Perfect, that's how we do it. Petby. Okay, cool. So let's go to the other side and do it. Oops. So we want Petby. And after Petby, we want Nobney. There we go. And it still has, let's see, Nobney, we need to be at 1920. Petby at 2800.
Center, Gear 2610, tell us 6,000, get looking for 11,000.
Nobney is at 1920.
I'm 11,000, Gear 2610.
All right, guys, we're bringing it in. Okay, that speed is kind of right where I want it. We'll keep it right at 210. All lights are on. We'll make sure we did that. Yes, we did. And once we get on our approach, we're definitely going to be start bringing that nose up a little bit. And actually what we can do is, let's see, from here, we don't even need to go downwind. We can go straight to Buxom. So yep, we're gonna slow it way down.
Apologies. What was the heading on that turn?
All right, we want to be at about 180, which we are.
Heading 110 to intercept.
All right, guys. Now let's go ahead and go direct to Buxom. Enter. Now we are direct to Buxom. At 4,000 is where we need to be. And then once we get to Buxom, we need to start descending down to 2,800 because, like I said, I don't think VNAV is going to be working at all. So what I'm going to do, man, I'm just going to get it ready. Vertical speed is 0, so we are ready for the descent, guys. Alright, let's start bringing that power back. And we're going to throw on some flaps here. We're not landing full flaps. We're going to land flaps 15. So we're going to pull our call out there. And once we get under 170, I'm going to throw in flaps 1. Flaps 1. Coming in. Throw on some more power, guys, and we need to do the conditioners all the way up. And of course, guys, we have to get our situation on. We'll keep about 160 for now, which is a little bit, you can see here, the first triangle is your approach, the last triangle is basically your VREF.
7,500, you're currently ILS runway 29, approach manual transmission, call established. Descent 7,500, clear.
Check you guys out in the chat. Everybody is looking good.
42.
You just check our VNAV really quick. I'm just curious. Buxom 4,000. Let's VNAV to PetB. So let's try this. To enter. Again, main, it's telling us
42.
we need to be descending right now, but we don't.
Yeah, we've got a pirate at our present position at 8,500, moderate to extreme turbulence. Copy that, launcher, extreme turbulence at 8,500. Thanks. 7 radio cab 41, that's 670, ready to go. Cat force 6 heavy, call me airborne, winds are calm, takeoff, lake runway 13 left. Call you airborne, clear for takeoff 13 left, cat force 41.
Edmonton Center, Westjet 318 has turned.
Westjet 318, roger, thank you, winds are calm, for land runway 0.
Alright, sir, thank you. Quick land runway 08, Westjet 318. We'll talk to that around. Now look, that VNAV got it, guys. So then you could literally just hit VNAV.
Edmonton radio, this is...
But we're going to keep it going down like we are. So we missed it, kind of.
32 left at Whitehorse. Passing through 4,000, no, 3,800.
Alright, right at the approach speed.
Well, climbing 11,000, I believe.
And there's the runway. Here is coming down.
Flight present heading, climb 11,000.
And we're going to select
Roger, present heading, climb 11,000.
our approach plats of 15. And then, of course, we need 1920 at our next waypoint. Landing gear is down. 3 green flaps are selected and indicating flaps 15, guys. Pulling that power back. I'll check you guys out in the chat one more time.
Radio cab force 4136 heavy top. Cab force 4136 heavy, you're identified. Proceed direct.
Alright, guys, let's check it out here in the chat. Leo 6, you flying an RNAV approach? Yes, I am. Not using the VNAV because the VNAV's not working. Alright, let me pick up on that speed. I'm at VREF, which we don't want to be at. We want to be at that V approach speed. Guys, I'm getting ready to take the autopilot off, so we'll see you on the ground stereo cockpit. My controls.
Kilo Delta Charlie, left turn heading 200. Left 200 for Kilo Delta Charlie.
Now we can still follow the caret, as you can see the magenta caret there. We can still follow that, guys. Oh, and the bleeds, we got to get to the minimum, guys. Bleeds are now to minimum. They're not looking crazy. Coming off that power. Landing gear down, 3 green, flaps are set.
Tesla, let me know what approach you're planning.
Now you can see that carrot. We're just going to follow it all the way down. Alright, we're right on that descent profile. Power's being pulled back.
Edmonton Center, 2610 Hotel, please repeat. 2610 Hotel. I was just saying that the winds are calm Tesla, they wouldn't able to let me know the approach you're planning. Thank you, sir. Okay, we'll plan for the approach. 2610 Hotel.
Let's inhibit that. I guess it didn't want to inhibit. Yes, we're below the glide slope. We know we're a little under power too, guys.
120, unable Victor 326. We filed direct between it DeBoer and then Canyon.
So we still have 2 white, 2 red, so that glide slope call out is off. We're right at VREF, guys.
Roger, direct Canyon. I think I tried to refile, it may not have gone through correctly. Field to the Delta Charlie.
We're going to be a little long here, guys, but that's okay.
Jazz 1742, established outlet 29.
Woo! Go around. Go around. And Edmonton Center, Westjet 318, go around.
Westjet 318, climb runway heading 5,000.
Runway heading 5,000, Westjet 318. Flaps coming up. Yeah, it got too squirrely there, guys. So we'll fly runway heading. I just didn't like it.
Fox Golf Mike Echo integrated. Mike Echo thing.
All right. Appreciate you, Leo. He says good call. Let's get it on the heading mode. And we're going up to 5,000. Yes, sir, we could do the RNAV. It just got a little squirrely as we came in close, so I just decided to do a go around. Sir, we can do the RNAV once again.
Standby, just select the heading and maintain 5,000.
Present heading and maintain 5,000, Westjet 318. Standby, we'll get back. Let me aviate here really quick and get it on autopilot, and then I'll call you back, and we should be able to get direct that, sir.
Edmonton Center, here 2610 Hotel, requesting permission to start and set down. Hotel, and ready to set 8,000. Altimeter is Yellowknife 200. Down to 8,000.
Alright, aircraft is doing what we want it to do. Let's pull that power back a little bit. Let's go flaps all the way up for now. Up to 5,000. Okay, sir, if you want to give us that waypoint, this is Westjet 318. We'll get it put in the FMC and we'll go direct to that point, sir.
Westjet 318, left turn heading 320, then navigate direction to MiG. Tango Uniform Lake, India Gulf.
Left 320, then will enable direct to MiG for Westjet 318, thanks, sir. Alright. So, flight plan Catmo, okay, 2 meg. Let's see that on the approach chart. Ah, 2 meg was the other one, so this is the one up here, 2 meg. Well, let's make sure the plane is doing what we need it to do. Up to 5,000, everything's looking good. Let me look at those speeds. Okay, perfect. So it's Tango Uniform Mike India Golf. Okay. Keep those speeds right there. Let's get that in. Right now we're in the hold, so let's put it right here. Let's go direct.
Saturday evening, November 6-4, Echo November is climbing through 13,000 feet.
2 meg is 1-4. Alright guys, now we're going to go direct to 2 meg, so the aircraft will start making its left turn, hopefully. There we go, we're finally starting our bank over to 2 meg. Speed is looking good, and we are all good to go, guys, so let's definitely rework that again. It got super floaty. It got super floaty. There's the rest of our approach there. Alright, so let's see what else we got in the flight plan.
We'll take the RNet for runway 27, please.
So Nanlu, Met-P, so let's see if we got our other points. Buxton, that's right. So we got it right there still, so it's still going to be in the flight plan, which is cool. So I'm going to leave it on that because more than likely it's going to give us vectors for that. Because essentially we're downwind of the airport. Let's see. Okay, it's going to be off, up. Should be at our 12, 11, 10, between 10 and 9.
1742, clear of 29, parking gate 53. Jet 1742, welcome to Calgary.
Here it is right here.
Juliet cross runway 17 right. Juliet Golf, April discretion.
Alright.
Juliet 17 right, Juliet Golf, April discretion, Jet 1742.
Speed is at 180. That's where we kind of want to be.
November, left turn heading 200.
So, let's do something. We got box on. Flight plan.
Westjet 318, you're clear yard half, runway 08, approach to make transition, call turning left.
Okay, cleared RNAV 08 approach. 2 NIC transition. We'll call you on final once again for Westjet 318. So what he's saying is we got to still get to 2 MiG transition. So there's 2 MiG. We're approaching it in 13.5, so we still have to hit that as the transition before we turn it in. So what we can do now, guys, since we have some time, after, let's see, this hold here. So let's put the points back in.
Alright, we're going to monitor 122.8.
Okay. Then we want PET-B. I don't know why that we're making a turn. You guys see that? So autopilot off. Let's turn right.
negative. Roger.
You guys see that though? It just started doing its own thing. We do have to descend down to 4,000, but not that gravely. Let's come here now. Direct. Oh, MG. 2 MiG, 1.4. Throw that power in, man, and get this plane back on course. I swear, man, it's trying my patience, but that's okay, guys. No need to panic. Now, let's try something else again. Let's do this direct thing again. I know the air traffic controller is like, what is this dude doing? Alright, there we guys go. There we go, guys, is what I meant to say. Back to our speed, 180. We're a little bit over. Alright, so we are back on course, guys. And I guess adding to the flight plan, in this one, you got to put it on the heading mode. Because what happened is, basically just took it right off. Then I had to take it off an autopilot to get it back under control, so not to worry. Not to worry at all. Buxton should be at 4,000 again, so we can stay at 4,000 until we get to our transition, guys. Okay, now we should be turning direct to Buxton.
Ready to copy.
It's been an interesting one. Been an interesting one for sure, guys. That's for sure.
Direct.
Got me sweaty up over here.
5,000, 8,000. Present position, direct, maintain 15,000, November 661, pop sector.
Alright, guys. First stage of flaps coming in.
Sector, back is correct. Direct, 1 Nelson. Direct, 1 Nelson, 1 pop sector.
Okay, first stage of flaps are selected and indicating.
Kilo Delta Charlie, when ready to send 8,000, and let me know what approach you're planning. Roger, when ready, we'll descend 8,000. We're planning the same. Runway 27, RNAV Yankee. Kilo Delta Charlie, Roger.
So once we get direct to that last waypoint, I'll put the
Oscar. Roger, direct approach for Kilo Delta Charlie.
I'll put the heading mode on, which I think will pretty much be there, and then we'll get the last waypoint pulled in for you guys so that we can arrive safely into the area. Last waypoint is Nobny. And remember, Pet B is supposed to be at 2,800 feet.
081 and direct estimate.
Now we're going to the heading mode. And let's get our descent to 2,800 feet.
Canada 416, you're leaving by airspace to the west next to the ship is online. Downstream base alerting come to this late Texas flight.
Okay, we'll have to call him in a second.
Roger, switching over to Unicom.
And it's Nobney.
And you have a good night. Air Canada 416.
Pet B.
And 4X looking for minutes to confirm. You want us to be direct Canyon with our Tesla.
Alright, there's Nobney. Back on LNAV. And I can see the field again. Gears coming down. And Edmonton Center, Westjet 318 is turned once again to final runways, right?
318, roger, thank you. It's our call for land.
Clear to land, runway 08, Westjet 318. Alright guys, we're going to go back down to our approach speed. Flaps 15 is selected and it's in transition. We're going to see some clear speed drop. I'm going to throw on some power now. We're going to stabilize right at about 155 hopefully. And we are now cruising where we need to be. Now we need to go to 1920 essentially for the next waypoint. I'll select vertical speed setup. So we have a good visual of the runway. Let's try this again, guys. All landing lights are on. Gears down, 3 green. Flaps are selected to 15 and indicating over here at 15. Let's start that descent now. I know it's a little bit premature. That's how we're rolling, man. Alright guys, we do have a good visual of the field. Autopilot off. My controls once again. I think the problem last time, the VNAV indicators kind of threw me off. We're just going to be straight visual this time. See that? The flight director is trying to throw a brother off, but it's not working today, man.
Five
500 cross check.
Terrain.
2 white, 2 red. That's what we want, folks. Alright guys, we got a 143, very good flare. Man, it just seemed like once you got close to the ground, that everything just seemed to get really hazy. But we made it in, and it was a long landing, so not bad. You know, I still definitely, because this is a different Q400 than the Majestic, you know, you really got to get used to the flying on this thing. All right, guys. Welcome into Fort McMurray. Green light says, nice job. Thank you, sir. All right, let's get the aircraft all cleaned up for sure, and we'll hold right here on Foxtrot. Thank you, everybody, for being patient. Man, I really got to get some controls. Edmonton Center, Westjet 318 is on the ground, clear of runway 8 on Foxtrot.
Westjet 318, welcome to Fort McMurray, taxi Fox Golf, and apron your discretion.
Okay, Foxtrot Golf and apron of our discretion for Westjet 318. Thanks a lot for your help. Alright, guys. So we're going to turn our bleeds off up here now. So we got the APU bleed going on. And let's ride it in. Welcome to Fort McMurray, peeps. All right, let's look for our runway. And I'll check you guys out here in a minute. Leo Stick says, bet you flat spotted them mains. Nice job. Take it over to the mechanics. You know I did, man. You know I did. He knew I was on them brakes, man. That's what he's talking about. Yup. He knew I was on them brakes hard, boy, coming in. Because that wasn't all reverse. I had to use some wheel braking in there too. So while we get ready for our next flight, we'll definitely now you guys know how I feel in my sim about doing a replay on the first landing. I'm just not going to do it because it'll crash the sim and we'll have time wasted, which that's not what we want. See what time it is, 8:20. Okay, so we'll have another one coming up for you guys with no replay, of course. I already got the next flight plan, so we'll have to get refueled and all that stuff. Man, that was something else, guys. I do love the sounds of this aircraft, that's for sure. You guys can see the terminal over there. All right, we're going to go ahead and secure left engine. Actually, we're going to do, yeah, we're going to do left engine. It won't let me do it, so whatever. Alright, normally they save fuel, they only do one engine, but this will not let me do it, man. Probably because I haven't binded. I don't have two throttles or the condition levers either, so we're just going to bring it right in over here to numero 4.
Charlie, we got our descent.
feel like I taxi like a grandpa. Can't sit back too far, it goes into the seat, because I like to sit far back. Brake is set, and let's bring them back. Well, we'll leave them here to cool down for a second. Let's go ahead and make sure we turn our taxi light off, guys, and the generator is on, thank goodness. Leads are open, so we can go ahead and shut them down now, guys. All right, no smoking will stay on. Passenger seat belts. And we can get this up to the, okay, up to red. That's where it should be. Da-da-da, let's go ahead and keep that bus tied. And let's see how much fuel we got, guys. And we'll just go ahead and run the APU. Oh, we got plenty of fuel to run that APU. So let's go ahead and get our transponder off. Transponder's off to standby, guys. And Leo, man, the mechanics are checking out these tires right now. Let's go ahead and get ourselves ready for the next one, guys. So what we need to do is come over here. Well, it's not letting us open up the cabin door. I had this problem before. It just won't let you open up the doors for whatever reason. So not even the rear door. I think it's a glitch, to be honest with you. APU was on, because, oh, you know what? Let's turn these off. We should have turned our ice protection off on final approach too, but we didn't. So that's off. Boom, boom, boom. That to the off position.
Center, King Air 2610 Hotel is safely landed in Tesla and requesting it to IFAR.
So that should slow down there in a minute.
Roger, thank you.
Alright, let's see if we can open those doors now. And we can't. And we can't, so nonetheless, guys, let's get ready for this turnaround.
Golf Kilo Delta Charlie, you're clear of the runway 27 approach.
Alright. So, let us get back to our loading. Now the next flight is supposed to be 56 packs.
You get a new probe, and we'll be on to you.
Hi, buddy. I'll be with you in just a second. It's my son. I'm going to get the aircraft all set up, and we'll get ready for that next one. Thank you guys for staying on board here. Okay, next field we are going to is John G. Daffenbacher. We need 75.67 in fuel. Expect them at dump roads. So we need 75.70 basically. Fuel. 56 passengers. Let's see, and the total cargo. Yeah, that's about right. We added a couple more passengers. We're actually going to do about 2,200 pounds of cargo. 56 passengers. We could probably go a little heavier than that. But let me look at my flight plan. My flight plan packs 56, cargo 2,000. So let's stick with that so that our numbers are correct. Alright, 56 packs, 2,000 pounds of cargo, 75.70 on the fuel.
I'll call you at entry
75.7 on the fuel, and the flying time, guys, is 1 hour and 21 minutes for this one. All right, 56 packs. We're adding 6 more passengers, a couple more 100 pounds of bags. Hour and 21 minutes. Our fuel is 75.70, and everything looks good here as far as the center of gravity. You can see the aircraft is pretty well loaded here. Now we're going to confirm. Let's see here. We're going to confirm the next load. That's it. And for whatever reason, start turnaround, cancel load. So let's see if that fuel's being pumped into there. All right, this is the first time I'm actually doing a turnaround. Did you manage to find a SimBrief profile for this bird, or are you using the default? Man, I'm just using the default, whatever the de Havilland DH8D is in there. I'm using the default, man, which seems to be okay. Let's see, cancel load, start turnaround, fast turn. I wonder if it's not letting us do that because we need to open the doors up, which is not letting us open the doors. Let's see here. Let's make sure the parking brake is set. That's the problem right there. I thought we set the parking brake, which apparently we didn't, and let's go ahead and stow that. I think that was the problem. It was like, man, you don't know what you're doing. And that wasn't the problem, guys. Let's see. Let's do something. Let's connect the GPU. We'll connect the GPU and let's turn the bleeds off, man. Something's not right here. Maybe it's this beacon that was on that was also causing us to not open the doors. And I still can't get the doors open. Let's see, close the plane up. Strange, man. Let's see, Captain Geo, connect GPU and check your lights. Okay, GPU is on. All the landing lights are off. Let's see, fault. Position should be on. The red beacon shouldn't be on. Let's double check it. That's okay. Here's the off position right here. Position light should be on. Tail logo off. Let's see. Let's take the fasten seat belts off as well. Still nothing here, man. This is cray-cray. What else could it be? Everything else is off, man. Our bus is tied. External power's on. Everything here is off. So, but the other day I was doing this, I had a problem too with trying to get the doors open. Interesting. Because we could still fly with this. I just need to check the fuel. So if we can go and do our fuel, which we needed it to be 75.70. Let's try something here. Oops. Okay, so 75.92. But the funny thing is that look at that, it's still burning fuel as if we have our APU on. APU is off. See, watch. We hit power, it's gonna. So there's definitely some glitching. Oh, and I see the fuel is not off. I think that is the problem. The engines. Okay, guys. So I figured out. I put my condition levers all the way down, but what I forgot to do. So the engines were actually running the whole time. What I forgot to do is bring. Once you go down with your flight controls all the way to the idle position here or with your conditioners, you actually got to come and click it off. So that was the problem, guys. Doors still aren't opening. So let's wait for the props to fully stop spinning. And we'll go from there. And that was weird. Alright, I may have to open up another tab. My stream seems to be doing something super weird. Okay, look guys, the doors came open. Boom. Now let me go look and see. I can't see my stream, so let me open up another tab here. YouTube.
Edmonton Radio. This is Embraer Golf Kill Delta Charlie at Teslin. We are on the ground and we're taxiing back to the apron. You can cancel IFR. Thanks for the ATC today. Golf Kill Delta Charlie. Roger. Thank you. Flight plan closed. 0027.
All right, you guys can see my computer.